Okay. Now we go on to apologies. David.
I've received apologies from Councillor Buzzenworth and Councillor Hawley. Buzzenworth is on holiday and Councillor Hawley unfortunately is ill.
Right, thank you for that. Do we all accept those apologies? All those in favour, please? Everybody? Yes. Number 2, declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest from members in relation to items on this agenda? No? If we come across any later on in the evening, can you please shout before we actually start that actual minute? Okay, we'll move on. Public participation time. Members of the public may now speak. Please note that 15 minutes is available to members of the public to speak, and that isn't per person. Okay. Are there any members of the public wish to speak? Yes, Mr. Moore.
I'd just like to carry on from last month's meeting. Still experiencing problems with the Farley Town Council's website not being able to open information that's on it. One example is the agenda tonight.
Right.
So couldn't find out what was happening at all for tonight's meeting. But there are many layers within it, and there are many problems within it accessing the information that's on the website. To the degree that I would say at this moment in time it's not fit for purpose. However, I think what you need to be considered is just that people have actually said to me, you know, isn't being done on purpose. You've got to consider whether you're being transparent, because this has been going on now for 2 or 3 months, especially with videos not being loaded onto it, and people getting access to what's happening within the council and the community. Can you tell me what is happening and how long you perceive it's going to take to sort the issue you've got?
Well, I'll let the cat come in on this one then.
As I explained to you, we've had a problem in terms of uploading with our speed of IT. That's been resolved, and now we can easily upload videos, which we have done recently and we will carry on doing. In terms of the access, it's a little difficult to understand because everyone else who's accessed it hasn't experienced the problems that you have. But I will pass this information on more strongly to our website supplier and ask him to investigate and find out what are there any issues there are. We are at this moment in time considering a new website provider because we understand that the website we have at the moment isn't fit for purpose. So there needs to be a major overhaul of that website in whichever shape or form we decide to go down, whether it's a complete overhaul of the current website or whether it's in fact an implementation of a new website, one which will carry the repository of all the previous information.
Okay, I can assure you it is not being done on purpose. Okay.
How long do you think that will take?
I would suggest that we will have the current website in a hopefully fit condition by the end of this month. The new website may take considerably longer in terms of the approval stages of it to get it to a point of view of being the website that we really want.
Okay.
You can smooth out the own personal problems. I've also experienced some problems, and there are other people experiencing problems. So it's not an individual issue.
Okay.
There's also minutes missing from certain months, which should possibly be there. And accessing the actual documents. Documents are there, but you have to sign it on an MS user, and that's not feasible.
No,
So
understanding
there are
that.
technical problems there, which is not just related.
No, I can appreciate that.
Councillor Shackleton.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I'd just like to assure Mr. Mook and anybody else that's watching the recording this evening that we are a council that, we do believe in openness and transparency, and we will continue to do so. But I also agree with Mr. Moore that, it is a shame that the website's taking so long. It does need fixing.
Right, thank you, Councillor Shackleton.
Yes? So?
Right, just read the picture on the actual screen up there. That's how I can tell whether it is definitely on or not. And I've just checked to make sure it is on. Okay, so it is up and recording. Okay. Any other members of the public wish to speak? No? Right, thank you very much. We'll move on to reports to the council. Number 4. North Yorkshire Police report. I'd like to welcome Andy Short up to the table, please, to give you the report.
Thanks very much. Evening, everybody. It's a last minute thing I'm coming tonight. There's quite a few meetings on in different parishes and councils tonight, so everyone's spread quite thin. So unfortunately you've got me tonight to discuss this report. I've just come back from holiday, so someone did the report and left it on my desk for me knowing I was coming. So if you've got any questions, please throw them at me and I'll find out the answers when I get back to work if I don't know them. So I think you've all got the report there anyway. In terms of crimes, they're where we expect them to be this time of year. There's some ups and downs in there which I won't go into too much. However, one thing I'd like to bring to the council's attention, if I may, and this came about from some work I'm doing in Eastfield, so I look after Eastfield and the rural area as well. They're looking at trying to set up a similar system that we've got here with the CCTV cameras and the radio system we've got. And as part of that, they're asking for justification of places who've had it before and the impact that's had on reported crime, particularly assaults, public order offences, that kind of thing. So I've gone back and done some digging, which is unbelievably difficult on our system. You'd think it would be something that would be easy to report on, and it's not. Very, very difficult to do for someone with my capabilities, I think. But I've managed to look at it, and for the last year, in terms of public order, so your Section 5 public order, people swearing in the street, and assaults on people, we've actually got some stats. I've just started doing it when I came back from my leave, so I'm hopeful we'll be able to get some proper stats to you, and they aren't reflected on these when we do the year to year within that time period. But, and I'd just like to say, this isn't something, I'm not patting myself on the back here, this is something I'd like to bring to the attention of the councillors for the Filey Pub Watch, if I may. The yearly figures purely for Filey, so not taking into account the parks. The assaults are down 30%. Public orders actually down 85%, which is 13 last year for the same period and 2 this year. So really it's a recognition for the work that the Filey and Pummby Pub Watch group have been doing, because I believe, very difficult to pinpoint everything, but I firmly believe that the work they've done and the work they've done with the radio system, which I know a lot of people here know about our community link radio, the information that gets passed around the town is very, very quick now. The fact that it's linked to CCTV at Scarborough, the fact that we can apprehend people quickly, things don't escalate as quickly, and I say that knowing that there's just been a big job at the top house the other week. But actually, when you look over the summer that we've had and how busy it's been in Filey particularly, we've had very, very few public order incidents. And again, that's not down to us saying it's brilliant because the police are always there. I know we're not, but actually it's the work of the proactive Pub Watch, in particular Chris, who's the chair of Chris Norman from the Star, and Rich Cowden, who was the previous chair of the Pub Watch. So I'd just like to raise that with you, if I may. If you have any questions on that, I'll gladly talk a bit more on that. So things that we've been doing, I've put on the good news stories on this format that we now do for your reports. We've actually arrested somebody, I don't think it's been in the media, social media yet, for all the thefts from St Oswald's. I know it was a really tricky one, it's been going on for months, and those of you that monitor our Facebook page, I'm not on Facebook, but they tell me what goes on and what doesn't go on. I know the police came in for quite a bit of stick about that because the public didn't think we were doing things. Now, if I could assure you we were doing a lot of things that obviously we can't put out on social media, and that goes along with a lot of other things that we investigate that we simply can't put out what we're doing. For example, if we put on social media we're doing plain clothes, we're sitting PCSOs up there, we're sitting cops up there working with this, then it frustrates our investigation. Yes, it may stop things initially, but that person's going to keep coming back. So we had to do things that we didn't put in the media. So we've now got somebody arrested, lots and lots of properties being recovered, and again, I don't think Mason's put theirs on social media yet, it will be going out. But those victims that reported thefts to us will hopefully be getting their property back. I've just seen the pictures this morning, there's tons and tons of stuff. And really awful to think that somebody could do that, especially somebody local. But at least we've got somebody in now. And again, thanks to social media, we got the tip off from somebody that was mouthing off on social media about I know it is. So we got them in the police station and asked them who it was, and they told us. So we went around and did as you would expect us to do. So there is some good that comes of stories. And the missing wallaby is still missing. People have been asking me about that ever since we got back on holiday. We think we know roughly where it is, because we've been out with dart guns and all sorts. We're trying to locate this wallaby, but that's the kind of thing that we end up dealing with. You'll know that there's been the Seagulgate scandal. That was all over social media. Again, the police got a real panning for putting that out on social media. 6 and 2 3 that one. There was a lot of people putting on there, you got nothing better to do. 6 hours later, we had the murder in Bristol. And I felt like putting on social media, yes, we deal with that, but we also deal with murder 6 hours later. So we deal with everything, don't we? And we can't get everything right on social media. Some people saying we should have been doing other things, it shouldn't go on there. But we've got families coming to us saying someone deliberately driven over a seagull, my kids have seen it, they're all distraught. It'd be nice for us to at least find the driver. That's why it went on there. So, like it or not, social media is there for the keyboard warriors to upset the police and the council and everybody else. So, a bit of a balance there. You know, the same day we get a murder as well as a seagull murder, and the missing wallabies still out there. Some local events coming up. I've invited our Chief Constable, very foolishly, to come down for the next Friday Hungry Cats meeting. She's just been confirmed in post. It's Lisa Winwood, who was our Deputy Chief. She's excellent. She's been in the force a long time. I've worked with her before. She's now our Chief Constable as of last month, I believe. So I think it's the 21st of November. Friday Hungry Cats, I think it is. So I've invited her to come to that. So if you have anything that you wish to ask her, or if it could be advertised that she's coming, that would be great. The more people get the opportunity to come and speak to her, the better, really. And she'll be able to talk about things that I don't know about, more security in the force. In terms of staffing that you may be interested in locally, we've got a full complement of staff at the moment. We've got no vacancies in the filing command, and that goes for the response cops as well as PCSOs. You all know Sergeant Mason now. She's been with us for about 18 months and doing a good job. So at the moment we don't have any vacancies. We're just coming into the winter period, thankfully. So things do calm down a little bit for us. Not to say that we're just going to be sat eating bacon sandwiches at the police station. We've actually got some proactive work coming up. Both before Christmas and after, working with 95 Alive and the Fire Rescue Service to do some road shows about road safety on the road to Christmas. And also, there's going to be an email coming out to all the clerks everywhere asking what, if anything, you'd like us to prioritise what we're going to do on our days of action. So we're not going to advertise the fact that we're doing these, we'll drop on and do different days of action for our Filey, Hunley, Eastfield and the rural areas. So that's what's coming up for us. So if there are any questions,
Councillor Wright.
Well, all I can say is, the person who wrote this report for crime breakdown, I'm pleased he's not, he or she is not giving evidence in court, because for a start off it was in Almond Grove, not Almond Close. Second thing is, the owner didn't find the damage. The owner found the actual man breaking into the door. He then followed him down the path, got the number of the car and reported it to the police then the police stopped them on the way to Hull. There is nothing in that piece that says that the man of the house ever did anything at all. It makes out as if the police have done everything and they haven't. Yes, they have caught them on the way home. So that report is totally wrong.
Yeah.
And I was really upset when I saw that, because that's my neighbour.
Yes. Well,
and I think he should have been given some accolades for doing what he did.
Yeah.
Because he solved the problem.
Yeah. Well, on that day, I was one of the, there was 3 of us. As it happened, I asked for a supervision meeting at Filey, so I got the sergeant across from Eastfield. I was having a meeting at Filey, and it was us 3 that chased after him and liaised with our colleagues in Humberside and managed to get them locked up in just outside of Bridge.
Yeah.
But yes, I agree with you, that you should mention there that actually the mail did a great job, because without the registration number, we had no chance.
You wouldn't.
And as it disappeared, we were able to track it using our ANPR and know where it was going.
So whoever wrote this, could you please tell them
Yes, I will certainly, yeah.
that, you know, get the facts right?
Yeah, I will do.
If they were in court and they've given those facts, you know, it's
Yeah.
just downright
No,
lying.
that's fine, thank you.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Councillor Mead.
Just to update if possible,
Yeah.
the vehicle top entrance there to the school to Warfield, which has got all your stickers on it,
The Audi.
the Audi.
Yeah.
The date for removal was today.
Right.
I've just walked down now and it's still there.
Yeah. When we get vehicles like that, we don't have any powers to move them. It's DVLA. So so I know I've spoken to Councillor Cross about this. If we have vehicles that are used in the commission of crime, are of interest to us, our powers come in and we can actually remove them. If not, we don't have the power to take them off the road. You know, we had the one on Union Street long enough. Again, that's not something we can do. We can try and jolly them along, but they'll go at their own pace. It's like saying, we've got a fire somewhere, can you come and sort it out for us? It's not, we literally don't have it. We can't do it, so we can't take it off the road. We don't have the facilities to do it. If we call the recovery agent, they say, well, no, this is no lawful power to do it. It has to go through the right agency. So I know Councillor Cross has been in.
So when you watch these police programmes on TV, and they get stopped and having no
Yes.
insurance,
Yeah.
they call the vet down.
Yes, when someone's driving and they have no insurance on a vehicle, we can remove it. Same as no tax when there's registered keeper and we find there's no tax. It all comes down to legislation, and we don't have the powers to do it, unfortunately. Can I actually put it?
Is there any more members of Carlisle Town Council wish to speak on this? Okay then, in that case, standing order 2A states that no person shall... Sorry, I've got the wrong one. I withdraw, move, standing order 2B, that Councillor Cross can speak.
Thank you for that, Chair. Yeah, really just to follow up on that, Jeff. I was contacted by the residents up there last week about the day, although I've driven past it a few times and never realised, you know, it was one of the friends that were there. I never realised that it had been abandoned, and they advised me to be abandoned. I went to sort the police, asked them what they could do, contacted the DVLA and said there was an abandoned vehicle there. They're not really that bothered to quite honest, not to sort of find a point on it. Contacted Scarborough Borough Council and they put signs on the leaves on it. The number has been taken. I could read it up in my report. I've had added things here guys from that unit, and they promised me unless they trace the previous owner, they can't chase the present owner because the V5 has not been registered with the DVLA, and they promised me that it will be pushed sometime this week. I mean, and that's what they're looking into. They're going to bring an outside firm to pick it up and push it.
When I run it in, I got crime number 208.
But just one other thing, Master, on I think one of the big beauties about the fact that we have got CCTV throughout the town, and it is in the key areas. It shows all the pubs and where the people are. You know what I mean? You know, a lot of that work has been done, you know, due to the capital and campaigns for budgets as well. So you know, there's a lot of people working to get crime down in the town. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Councillor Cross. And now we move that standing order and only councillors may speak. Councillor Mead.
Just one thing, when I actually room it in to report the vehicle, I was on the phone to 101 for nearly 20 minutes. And I thought, if this is 19p a minute, it would cost me a fortune. And then, so I thought it was 19p a minute, which 19p per call. I can't see why the normal member of the public should pay 19p to report a crime. second time it was 15 minutes waiting to get answered.
No, in terms of the 101 system, I do know that they are investing some money in the PCCs, investing some more money into the 101 system. We know it's not entirely fit for purpose. It has been subject to, I think every time I come to every meeting I go to, people talk about it. I've tried myself, and given up option. Because we don't have a magic number we can bring it for opportunity. It's literally 101 or 39. So I feel your pain. It's something that all the communities feel, and the PCC have listened and is invested in that.
It does make you wonder, next time, instead of waiting 20 minutes down 999.
It's difficult. Yeah. And the trouble is we ask people to help us. We ask people to ring us with things, so they try ringing us from 101 and we can't get through. So it doesn't work for us on the ground, which is why people further up the chain need to know about it.
When the session's coming?
No, that's the Police Crime Commissioner.
She'll do.
Yeah. She does come and do roadshows, the Police Crime Commissioner, Julie Mulligan, now and again. Our Chief Constables, there's something to mention to the Chief, because obviously she's in charge of what happens within the force, but the PCC and our Chief Constables share responsibilities, so there's something else to mention there. Yeah.
Right, is there any more councillors wish to speak? No, in that case, at this point I will move standing order 3 and adjourn the meeting to allow Peter Wood, Graham, to speak.
Question concerns dog attacks. Having difficulty finding empirical data on the amount of dog attacks in the area. This relates also to issues which Councillor Mead raised with respect to there was an elderly person who was attacked by a dog who tried and couldn't get through and had to wait until next week. So what is the database, or do you keep a database on dog attacks in the area?
We won't keep a separate database. If we were to search our crimes, because some are crimes, then it would show who the victims are. The Dog Warden Service, SPC, Mayfield, that's it's something I can look at, certainly.
The person is attacked by a dog and they will go to the A&E.
Yeah.
Is it then referred directly to the police or so there's a separate recording system for the police and the A&E?
Somebody would need to report it to us, so the health service wouldn't automatically. There's certain cases, as you might expect, serious sexual assaults or serious assaults they may contact us for to say, are you aware of this? But they wouldn't be able to, they don't directly refer to that.
Thank you very much.
Right, thank you for that. We'll now end the adjournment and only members of the council may speak. Thank you very much for coming along, Inspector Shaw, tonight.
I'll go if that's alright with you, so my wife knows what I'm like.
Right.
Alright, thanks very much.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to number 5, Eber Academy. Mr. Cartmail, the acting headmaster of Eber Academy, unfortunately isn't with us tonight yet. So we'll move on to number 6. Borough and County Council reports. Scarborough Borough Council councillors reports. I hope you have all had a chance to read the report from Councillor Cockrell. Does anyone have any comments to make with reference to the report before we invite Stuart Clark up as well? Does anybody have any questions for Councillor Cockrell, please? No? Kelly?
Sorry, Chair. I just wondered whether you think we'll get anywhere with Barclays Bank, given what we had with the Yorkshire Bank previously. They wouldn't engage with us at all, would they, if you remember rightly, when they were shutting up shop. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think they'll engage?
Exactly the same. I've tried, and I know our MP is trying, and I know Gary Vassar, the leader of council, he's raised it at county and as well at the borough.
Is it a case of once the decision's made by them?
Personally, that's what I've been giving up. I think we just landed a bit.
Right hand.
Yeah, a couple of updates, Chairman. Some of you may have seen the work that's been doing on the beach, towards the corner of the
this morning, knocking down some of the dangerous bits of the cliff. There was one particular part that was featured on Facebook. Somebody said it's a lovely photo where some of the fallen buttresses and part of the clay underneath had gone, and so everything above it was totally unsupported. A couple of days later I saw a young lady with a 10-year-old kiddie sat almost directly underneath it. So anyway, they have now been removed. Some of you will be aware that I've been trying for 2 or 3 years to get a cobble on cobble landing. There's a static display with information boards and such. I've been unable to locate a suitable wooden one. I'm now in the process of looking at one in steel, a replica. So I hope the Town Council will be able to support that basic principle.
We'll fetch that up for the next meeting, Councillor Cocker, on that one. Okay.
Well, it's just what it is, support the idea or not.
Right.
That's all it is.
Councillor Shackleton.
Regarding the coal market, we exhausted all avenues with Gary then.
Yes, that was exhausted some time ago. That's why he's cobbled down the cobble land
The
anymore.
reason I asked, we did have many meetings, as you know,
Yes.
with Gary, and it just seemed to finish up in the air.
Yeah, well, there was a proposal put forward and he wasn't prepared to accept it. So,
But have you been back to him since?
not since, because they were just leaving the cobbles there and they were deteriorating, so we had to tell him to move them.
Okay.
I've spoken with Gary Sims quite recently, sort of early this year. No way does he want to do that. Unfortunately, it's a shame because they're rotting. The heritage just disappearing before our eyes, really.
And this is one reason why I'm now looking at the steel.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Obviously, it's going to be costly and we were trying to get funding. I've already secured some funding, but it would help if the Town Council, he just said they support the basic idea. I'm not asking for money, but just to support the idea.
Well, I would support it indeed. Yes.
So at this point, I think we can go around the room, starting from your councillor.
I support. Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'd support it, when we see more details on it. I mean, the cobble land is quite congested at the moment. I mean, we need to see cycling point and everything else. I'd just like to say I was down there for the music festival the other weekend, and it was chaotic with cars coming up and down and second floor and absolutely chaotic.
Right, thank you very much. So that's, we need to take a vote on this because I've been down the road and everybody said yes. So, can we have a vote on this? Everybody? Must do? Okay. I know it's into the agenda item, but as we've gone round the room, I just wanted to make sure that everybody is. Yes.
I think we can agree to, in principle.
In principle, that's what we do.
The idea,
Yeah.
then we'll vote.
In the future, if we could have a more detailed report, and then we go forward.
It's very early stages, and it's just, alright, a bit like we did with good to get that support, because then I can use it when I'm talking to other potential funders. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any more questions for Councillor Cockrell?
Yes.
Councillor Shackleton?
If Mike could possibly give us an update on the flood alleviation scheme.
I'll keep repeating myself, we're getting closer. At the moment, there are 3 outstanding heads of terms and access licences to be signed by the landowners. When those are signed and complete, that will then allow a report to be put forward
and then engage Balfour Beatty as the contractors. And all I can say is at the moment I'm very hopeful, more than I've been before, of that happening this year. Hopefully starting, maybe March next year, actually. We're going to stay in the ground.
March.
Well, don't quote me on, I've said it, but that's how it could be. But the negotiations, discussions, whatever you want to call it, with, we've got 9 landowners to talk to, and shall we say it's been quite frustrating and very protracted.
It's been rather slow affair, Mike, and I think we're all hoping that stage is going to the ground this year.
I wanted it last year.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Okay, is there any more councillors wish to ask any questions to Councillor Cockle? If not, at this point I will move standing order 3E and let Mr Mook speak.
Councillor Cockle, are you aware planning application for the 5-foot alleviation scheme expires at the end of this year? The 3 years is up since it was passed. So it will have to be put in before the end of the year, not next year.
But the thing is, we've already started some preparatory work on it. So as I understand the situation, once some work has started, then, in effect you started, so that timescale can be extended. If you remember, earlier on we started cutting down hedges and trees.
Could you tell us?
But I will certainly check on it.
Okay, thank you.
Right,
Could you tell us who the landowners are who will have to sign?
No, sorry.
Okay, thank you.
okay. I will now end the adjournment and only members of council may speak. Councillor Cross, could I have your...
Apologies for not having done a report because I had a meeting with Councillor Anthony, with Harry Briggs and with Rick from the environmental team on Monday, I think it was Monday. I've had a meeting today, but really just to fill in a few problems that were actually happened. Firstly, as you're probably aware, at the rear of Tesco's, council deposit all their rubbish, and what's been happening is received those. There's been no tops on any of the bins, and it's been a bit of a disgrace. And this week there were tops added to the bins, so hopefully that's going to push all the levels of seafood and the best on there. We've also mentioned the car at Wharfdale, and let's hope that that's moved by the end of the week as promised. Port Street, long outstanding. We had Harry Briggs and Rick from the environment, our team there. We found 4 fridges at the back of one property, and they're going to contacting the individuals to get them moved. The dog warden service, we've had agreement in principle, and I think Councillor Anthony had an email to that effect, and that is going to be discussed later on at the meeting, but we've had agreement in principle to a community dog warden. There is going to be a supply of bulletproof bags available in the council. And I mean, that's ones that are written in Go language, so they don't peck at them, so they're obviously very Go. There's also 2 more cars that are parked around the back here that have been looked into, that have also got no tax and no insurance, etc. And hopefully they will be moved, and that's being checked at the present. I did give a piece to Radio York about the very sad news that with, Barclays Bank and the final straw for the banks in Friday. We're seeing that more and more services are lost to smaller towns, so I did do a piece on that. Yesterday, the parking was delayed, where they're going to charge £1, it was deferred until another meeting for a month. From what I'm led to believe, there is further information being found. And the good news is that we've got the Chief Constable coming, so as well as seeing the Chief Constable, please all come to the CAT meeting on the 21st of November.
Thank you.
It says in here that the
Right, thank you for that,
damage-
Councillor Cross. Are there any questions for Councillor Cross, please? No? Okay then, we'll move on and invite Councillor Cocker and Stuart Clark to give us some information on the early thoughts being discussed about the ways to enhance the experience of visiting the country park for residents and visitors.
Thank you.
Sure.
I think it might be a bit useful if I give a bit of background, if that's okay, just to,
Yeah.
to help in what we've done. Piley Brig's been under my areas now for 2 years, just over 2 years. When we took it over, we had several issues to address. So before we could move any further, we had to address these issues. It was clear to us that it was an unused asset for Piley that we had there, and it was something that we really needed to develop and control. So we made a number of changes. One of the big things that we did initially was we brought Phil Armitage in, who I'm sure you all know from the Evron Centre, to operate as my manager on site, who's done a sterling job in introducing a number of things to help improve the site. We've improved the signage around, we've introduced online booking systems, we've put new roadways in around the site because we had issues with roadways, addressed some of the drainage issues, we still have a few, but we've been addressing them as we can. Numbered the pitches, introduced directional signage around the site, improvements to the actual shower facilities in the buildings. We've recently just put barrier controls in there as well, so we've now got a controlled access to the site, so the site becomes more safe and secure, and combined with that we've put security on till late at night. On site we now sell papers, hire bikes, Calagas. We don't sell the hire bikes, obviously we hire the bikes. Calagas, we've got an off licence in there, and we're selling attraction tickets for, Flamingo Land, Sea Life Centre and those sort of places as well. It's shown in the usage. We've taken the site from our ratings that we get. The site is getting 4.1 rating out of 5 on all the websites that we're receiving and the information from, so it's good, it's really positive. The numbers have actually been dragged down because of, unfortunately, we had a really bad April this year with the weather. I'm sure everyone remembers the rain, and that affected our ticket sales, our sales of the pitches, so we're actually 60% down in April, but the rest of the year we were 10% up throughout. So if you take April out, we've had a real positive year and significantly increased usage. Obviously on the fact that we had some wet pitches, we are looking with Andy Crosby's team from the Borough Council at more hard standing pitches so that we can actually utilise all the pitches fully as often as we can. That's sort of the general thing that we've done to lift the site a bit. What we're looking at going forward is, I'll leave one of them to last, but we're looking at possibly redevelopment of the play area if we can in there, so that again there's another facility for people to use. Increasing the number of hard-standing pitches, putting bird's mouth fencing around the mound area just to stop people from driving over the mound and onto the camping site. We're looking at the gateway to the park because obviously, we've done some improvements to the signage, but it's still a bit sort of bland. There's a lot more we could do, and we'd really like to, or I'd really like to work with Piley Town Council on some ideas for how we could do the entranceway just to make it look really something. And then that leads on to the other big things that we want to do. Obviously we're now working with and supporting Discover Fire and the Visitor Centre there. We've been approached by the RSPB with similar ideas to what we've done at Benton. That's obviously to be explored. We haven't had any updates from them yet. We went back to them last week and asked them if there's any further information. They haven't come back to us. But it's a real positive thing if they were to come on board that we could maybe do something in there. Obviously, again, anything that we'd have, we talk to yourselves about this. And then the other thing that I've got is that to continue the development of the site, we're looking at more things that we can do in there to attract visitors. We're looking at potential glamping lodges. Now, what we've done so far on glamping lodges is we've sort of drafted up a proposal. We've costed it up for 6 lodges. We've identified a couple of potential sites, one's within the existing boundaries, one slightly outside the existing boundaries, as to something we could do. Now, we haven't obviously brought it to yourselves before because we had to price it all up, we had to see if it was a viable option and if it was worthwhile doing. So we're here now obviously with that as an option, that's what we're looking for. Obviously we go through planning and everything, before we do anything, we'd have to go through planning, but the intention is to look at trying to bring in 6 glamping lodges into the site to try and develop the site. And that's it where we are at the moment, I think.
Any councillors, any questions? Councillor Anthony.
When you say there's a couple outside the boundary, the glamping pods, where were you thinking in particular?
Well, we've identified 2 or 3 sites at the present time. So we've got the existing tent area, and then we've got a bit of camping area just next to it. If you're looking at a map, it would be to your left. And then just above there, there's another piece of land there, which has slightly raised, going slightly up, so it has nice views looking over the bay. So that was one of the areas we're looking at. Again, you know, anything that we did there would be subject to checks on groundworks, planning application and you know, approval, but glamping for us is certainly something that we'd like to bring forward just to enhance the usage of the site and give it a, you know, more 365 days usage if possible. But yeah, it's only just, it's slightly outside, and I appreciate it adds a bit more, and I understand obviously the memorandum of understanding we would be talking to yourselves before we do anything like that anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Councillor Wilkie.
Yeah, you were saying earlier about April being a bad month, but then the rest was okay. So, I know you'd like to put the positive thing, but what was the overall effect of that April? You're still behind, because obviously you can take any figures out you want and say it's positive.
Yeah, and you can, you're absolutely right. I can give you some usage figures which will demonstrate. So if I tell you April last year we had 661 pitches occupied throughout April. This year we had 270. But then the full picture for the whole April through to August, last year we had 4135, this year we had 4115. So we're only actually 20 down. So you know, and you're right, you can take anything out and make the figures look good. But
I've just wondered what the discrepancy would be, but in actual fact, if April was something near normal, we would have had very good.
Even if we had a couple of dry days, it would
And secondly, the solar panels on the main building, I know you won't have any figures to hand because I've ambushed you on that, but do you think that's had a positive effect? You know, there's a bit of a hoo-ha about what's going on there, but I just wondered what an effect that they've had. Is it? I know you won't get the figures, so maybe
find out.
Yeah, because it'd be interesting to know.
I'll see if our energy manager's got any information on that and come back to you if that's okay.
Yeah.
I know what my readings are.
Councillor Wright.
Well, you're plugged into it.
Councillor Wright.
I think it sounds very good, because I think that we need some modernisation up there. I've been saying for a long, long time that it needs to be all hard standing and electric hookups, because that's what it's about these days. Is the campsite electric hookups as well?
No, it's just the caravan areas. All 154 pitches have got electric.
Well, I think again you're a bit behind the times, because I know a lot of campsites are electric hookups now, and I think we ought to be looking into that.
Yeah.
To do that, because you know, it helps with revenue, obviously, to get people in. And as the glamping things, I think they're a super idea, because again, it's modern, it's forward-looking, it's getting revenue in for the borough, which I'm assuming from saying that you've got the shop, well, it's like shop, isn't it, that you are improving on revenue for the site.
The site, the things that we've done within the site are improving the revenue significantly, and the good thing that we have with the agreement of Nick Edwards last year is that the surplus money that we made last year, we reinvested back into the site, and the agreement is the same this year, so the surplus that we have, we can reinvest back into the site, which is, like I say, I've had it for a couple of years, but when we picked up, it's clearly not been done in the past, and it's clearly been left, so I'm not going to say we started from scratch, because we didn't, but you know, we started at a point that
it was way behind it.
We're dragging it up, and, well, we're not dragging it up, it's gone a long way, and the feedback that we're getting now is exceptional, which is really nice, and you know, we'll publish something at some point where we'll give details of the feedback as well, because it's all, you know, the feedback that's anonymous. We've got some cracking feedback, you know, absolutely brilliant. It's really reassuring, it shows that we're doing the right thing.
Maybe your April figures as well, was there anything to do with outstanding? Or don't you know?
We've worked out from the April figures that the majority of people, we get an awful lot in that time of year of people just turn up for a weekend, or will come for a weekend. you know, when the weather's like that, they just didn't come.
Didn't
So
come, no.
it was all the online bookings and the pre-books, the majority of them came, but it's just the, you know, on the days the ones that come for a weekend that will come away that just didn't
Yeah.
come. So, and I mean, you see that knock-on effect in everything that we do. You know, Peas Hill Park suffered. And,
And as regards the entrance, I think it's way overdue for that to be redone. Because, you know, I mean, in the past, not recently, but the campsites are absolutely beautiful, the entrances to them. I think it sets the scene of it being, you know, nice. I don't know what the shower blocks are like nowadays. I heard you say that you have redone them up a bit. But I know at one point they weren't very good.
No, they weren't great. I mean, we've done the main shower block. We've relayed all the floors. The floor was one of the biggest issues in there, so there's a new flooring inside. We've just generally tidied it up, and we've improved all, decorated it all, and we've put new signage inside, so it just brightens the whole area. And one of the things that the AA inspectors pick up is how nice and these areas look, the ambience, and you're right, and that's one of the things that compliment, even down to the fact that we're commenting on plants in there, we've got some more plants in there, you know, so we've picked up on all those things, and we're addressing the ones that we can within there, just to keep it going.
And that, wish you well that the chap you made on there is excellent.
That was actually done in his spare time by David Ford, who works at the Emerald Centre.
Yeah,
He did a fantastic job of that, so
Yeah, they did a real good job.
He really did. We got some excellent people.
Well, I'm all for, you know, it moving forward, because it is a revenue. Okay, you get it, but at the end of the day, Scarborough Council does things for Filey, so it's all goes in the coffers. So, I mean, we would love it as Filey, but we'll never get it.
But it is bringing people into Filey though as well, so that's the thing, we're increasing the numbers of people coming in.
Well, that's right. They shop and go to the restaurants and all the rest of it, and it keeps the town vibrant. So it all works together. I think it's a marvellous idea.
Any more councillors wish to speak? Councillor Haxton.
Yeah, on the 9th of February 2005, the local government ombudsman found Scarborough Council guilty of maladministration of its dealings with the country park. Now, a couple of the points that he found them guilty of were A, extending the site beyond its planning boundaries, and in his opinion, planning had never been granted anything. And B, we found them guilty of putting so many caravans and tents on the site.
Right.
Yeah. Now, I've got the full report in front of me. And this year, you were again guilty of overpopulating the tent thing.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for raising
Now,
that.
you know, that was bought by Filey Urban District Council as a country park. I accept there is a caravan site there, but it is a park for the people of Filey. It's probably one of our last green open spaces. You start extending it with lodges and it goes on and on and on, and where does it end? Now, there is a current boundary for the planning. And in fact, Scarborough Council were made to remove a bundle wall they had erected to extend it in 2004. So, you know, I would say to extend it is a no-no.
Would like to... Thank you for raising that. I mean, I've become aware recently of the issue around the tents, and, you know, again, thank you for raising it. I mean, all I can do is apologise. It was for that. We weren't made aware, I wasn't made aware of an existing, when the handover took place, of an existing ombudsman decision like that, and maybe it was just remiss of me that I should have...
Yeah, it's nothing to do with the ombudsman report, it's planning.
Yeah.
You should have known what the planning was if you did.
Well, we had a manager in there at the time who, you know, and it was a handover to me from an existing colleague who, you know, I would have hoped would have furnished with all these details, because I took over a number of services, and, you know, I would have hoped that something as important as that would have been highlighted with us. It was really disappointing for me to find out the other day that, you know, this has been raised again. What we've done is now, and I know it's too late, and again I apologise for that, because it's happened. But the system that we have, the online booking system, restricts the number of people, if you tell it to, restricts the number of bookings that can be taken for the tents. So that has been restricted. As soon as we were aware of it, that's been restricted. So nobody can book any more than the allowed number of tents on there now. I've checked through all the records as well in relation to caravans. That's not exceeded the 154 that were allowed on there at all in the last 2 years that we've had it. So again, like I say, all I can do is apologise. That's you know, I would have hoped that someone would have told me something as important as that when they handed it over to me, but they didn't. And I'm not trying to make an excuse. You know, I apologise for that. With regards to the extension of the boundaries, again, yes, that's one of the reasons why I'm here. It's one of the options that we've got. And like I said, when we fleshed out all the options, priced it all up so it was worthwhile looking at doing this and exploring it and investing in it, then we come to Parliament Town Council and say, you know, what do you think, to seek your views, and I'm grateful for your views, and obviously we'll take them back now and we'll look at this. Any extensions that we've got considered to the park is not to, or any development, should we say, that we've got planned or looking at for the park moving forward is to make it more of a usable area for everybody, not for, you know, I think we're looking at trim trails at the present time and that sort of thing, and it's not to be exclusive to the campsite and not be part of the campsite. It's more to be, you know, for everybody. So it isn't about that. And you know, thank you for your comments. So we'll take them on board and take them back.
Right, thank you for that. Any other councillors wish to speak?
I think it's worth mentioning, Chair, that we have worked closely with Discover Filey and taken on a lot of their basic ideas and what the work they've done. I think to me, one of the exciting things, potentially, is if the RSPB do come on board and bring a quite significant investment to the area, and that will allow us, I think, to do something quite significant, rather than, with all due respect to Stuart, tinkering at the bottom, bits here and bits there. I think it could be quite fundamental.
Councillor Shackleton.
I'd just like to ask about the Discovery Centre actually, because it's always been Discover Filey's wish and ambition to have a Discovery Centre on that side. Is this going ahead or not?
That's certainly still part of the discussions.
And will we see this go ahead before any further developments on Country Park?
Well, we're waiting, as Stuart said, we're waiting to hear back from RSPB on their data thoughts. And that will give us a good guide, what is possible.
If I can just add, I think the thing with the RSPB is that, we went to meet them, they talked to us at Flambeau, and basically said they'd secured a huge amount of Heritage Lottery funding to be able to do this, so it made their dream over there a reality, so it's that sort of thing that would make this a real reality for us.
Great, thank you for that. Councillor Haxby.
How it fits in with the new toilets, reception, blah 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 that we've heard is possibly going on. Is that part of the scheme?
Well, it's all part of the thoughts involved.
Right, thank you. Is any more councillors wish to speak? No? At this point, once again, I move standing order 3, so let Councillor Cross speak.
Thank you, Chair. Really, I won't go over the points that Councillor Haxby and Councillor Shackleton made, but it's interesting, that it is making money, the caravan park, and it would be nice that money is invested to improve them toilets that are up there, that the ones the residents can use currently, that are not far from there. And that's where some of the money should be used, on the residents, and improving them toilets at the top there, bottom of the car park. And all the other ambulance, thank you, the Chairman says, all the other ambulance.
Thank you for that, Councillor Cross.
I mean, that's not a decision for me to make. Unfortunately, I was given the money to reinvest in the campsite, the caravan site. So, that's a decision at a different level to me.
Extending it and bringing RSPB, you're either taking it all or you stick to your little areas to it.
Well, I think
what you doing? Are we playing?
No, I'm sorry if that wasn't clear. I think if we talk about the RSPB and what they would develop, would bring something that would bring, public facilities, toilets into that building as well. So, you know, that would be an even bigger plus point. So using the money that we would make as surplus to reinvest in the existing toilet block is not my decision.
It's going to back what Councillor Shackleton said. Which are we going to get? Are we going to get the glamping pods and not get the RSPB and not get the Discovery Centre? Or are we just going to get the glamping pods and the money taken away? I mean, because all it is raising further capital for Scarborough.
Like I alluded to earlier, we've been reinvesting that money now back into the campsite, which is, my understanding is that we'll continue to do so. So what that means, whether that means beyond, you know, into the toilets or not, I don't know. But obviously, I can't tell you what's going to happen with the RSPB yet, because the RSPB hasn't come back to us. You know, I'd love to be able to sit here and say they said they're fully on board, desperate to do it, and you know, they're going to put a bid in. That would be fantastic, but I can't sit here and say that at the present time. Glamping pods, like I said, you know, it's a desire just to keep that campsite, you know, vibrant, keep it going all year round as well. So it's you know, something that can be used all year round. And if that brings us extra money, then that's extra money to invest in that area, whether that's in the campsite, whether that's in the toilets. I'm afraid that will be a decision that won't be taken by me. That will be taken by someone else.
So the money's not going to be ring-fenced, you're saying, or are you saying it is going to be ring-fenced?
Well, I'm not saying either. What I'm saying is the existing budgets that we've had last year and this year have been given back to put back into the campsite.
Yeah. There's been money taken out as well. You mean there has been some surplus?
Yeah, there's been a surplus which has then been invested back in. I mean, we did the roadway. And quite a bit more. I mean, you talk the roadways, you're looking at £20,000 worth of works on the roadways. You know, the drainage was quite a big investment. The toilets, you know, you're looking at £5,000 for the floor because of the nature of the floor. And you know, all these things have been reinvested back in. That's a lot more than the surplus that was made. But we had the surplus as a starting point. And yes, I did have to go with a begging bowl asking for a bit more. I did, and they gave me it, which was nice. And you know, it's good because people see the value in Paddy Bridge and realise that it's an asset that we've got that, you know, needs to be developed further.
Okay, right, thank you for that. I will now end the adjournment and members of the council only may speak. Councillor Shackleton.
I'd just like to say that I think Stuart's been very lucky getting money out of the budget because whenever this council's asked for anything, we've always been told there's no. So I think you're very lucky, Stuart.
Right, thank you for that. Is there any more questions from the councillors, please?
Not sensible ones, anyway.
I'm going to say sensible, yes. Right, in that case then, thank you for coming along.
Thank you.
And best of luck with it.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Swires. When you're ready.
Good evening. Just bring to your attention, can everyone hear me all right?
Yes.
Of a consultation that's in progress about South Dean and South Pleasant Road, the proposed weighting restrictions and amendment to the existing weighting restrictions. Both sides of South Dean are currently subject to a road traffic order which prohibits waiting from 10 until 6 p.m. in the evening between the 31st of March and the 30th of September. Residential parking is taking place on the north side, however, and the view is to formalise that. However, to prevent parking on the south side, it is proposed to prohibit waiting at all times, all year round, to maintain two-way traffic. And the consultation lasts until the 26th of October. anyone.
Do you want to take any questions on that bit first?
Yes.
If they would like to, yeah.
Right, so just make councillor right.
I mean, it's a simple
Council
consultation at the moment.
I'll
You're late.
keep talking about that. The
Right.
subject we're on.
Councillor Wright.
What do you mean formalising?
Well, at the moment, residents are parking on the north side. However, it
Yeah.
isn't a formal thing because at the moment the road traffic order prohibits waiting.
Yeah. But you're not going to put restrictions on that, are you?
Well, no, because they're going to some people are parking on the north side and they're really just formalising that. But in order to make sure that there is still two-way traffic able to take place, they need a traffic order to prevent parking on the south side.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Well, that makes sense that he's doing on there, but I still don't understand what you mean by saying if there's no road markings on the road, you leave it as it is, why say formalise it?
Because it's not formal at the moment. They aren't supposed to park there.
Why not? It's a road. You can park on a road where there's no restrictions. And there's no restrictions down there.
Anyway, that is the wording of the order. If you want
I think we ought to look into this because I don't want to wake up one morning and all of South Dean is clean.
Can
Are
I
you-
quick?
am I wrong?
No, I think we just don't understand the wording of what formalise is. As far as we're concerned, if there's no road markings, you can park there. But are they parking illegally then?
Well, I do so.
Can someone explain what formalising means? That's
Well, I've been told at the moment they are parking there.
Yes,
we know
They're
that.
supposed to be.
Yeah, why?
Well, but in order to maintain traffic flow going through, because if you've got people parking on the south side as well.
You haven't.
We understand that, but what we don't understand is why is it taking this long to realise that people shouldn't be parking on that side and be parking there ever since I was a kid?
Well, I can't comment on that. All I know is that this order's come forward.
Yeah, so who would we ask about that? Who would we?
Well, I can ask them what.
Yeah.
Can you let us know?
Well,
What exactly is the question?
What does formalisation mean?
We're not sure why they're not allowed to park there now, all these years.
I think they are allowed to park there. I can park in my cul-de-sac. There's no yellow line
Just an
there.
understanding of the wording, what that.
Okay.
Someone could email the clerk, that would be
But
sufficient.
what I don't want, there's a warning this, because I'm only North Yorkshire County Council, I don't want to say, wake up one morning and there's a restriction on the north side as well as one on the south side. Because that isn't fair.
It's not going to be a restriction.
No.
It's just making it formal.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
what that
but
means.
they'll formalise it by saying the compartment between a certain time. That's what worries me. If they say they can park there between 6 o'clock in the morning and, you know, 6 o'clock at night, 6 o'clock in the morning, we don't want that.
Well, I think it's just to ensure that there isn't any parking on the south side,
Yeah.
so that there's two-way
Yeah.
traffic.
Yeah, we
That's
understand
fine,
that.
that's absolutely
We
fine.
understand that.
I think it's just a matter of formalising the situation so that there is
Yeah.
two-way traffic, because at the moment there is often
Yeah.
congestion there, and I mean, I've been down there and we're having it down.
Not on South Street. That makes a difference.
Councillor Haxley, have you
The
got
question would be that if they're parking illegally, why haven't they been prosecuted and done so? If they're not parking illegally, then you don't need to formalise
Well,
it.
I don't
But
think...
having said that, Helen, you'll sort it out, I know.
Yeah.
What does worry me is that it just highlights the need in filing, and it's not just South Dean, it's Brooklands, it's South Crescent, it's going on to Fir Tree Drive, to Armand Close. Locals are not able to park near their property, and it's pointing towards a resident parking system.
Yeah.
Because I do feel sorry for anybody that lives in that area, in summer especially. And, you know, if you're starting to then say you can't park on the south side of South Main, which I agree with, by the way, well then you're forcing more people to park in the north side and other streets.
Yeah.
And it's just compounding an existing problem of residents not being able to park anywhere.
Well, it really comes back to what I said last month, is that I would like to see a review of parking in all of Filey. You can't make any more parking places, but we need to make the best use and keep the flow of traffic as best we can. And I understand it's quite a long time since there has been a review. So I am trying to push for that, but I don't know what the second is likely to be.
Okay,
Right.
then. Carry on with your report.
Marine Bridge. It has been looked at by the Bridges team, and the condition has been compared to the photographs that were taken in 2016. And they see no significant changes. The bridge teams do not have any concerns at the moment, but they will inspect it on a regular basis, and that's the best I can do at the moment. But I am still asking them to keep going back looking, because it does keep coming up. Now, Wharfdale Estate, there's been a problem with the street lights. It was reported to the County Council on the 5th of September by yourselves. And that was passed on to the road lighting team, who I believe have given a reply. There is currently a supply problem with the columns on Wharfdale, and the issue has been raised with the Northern Power Grid. And the local engineer was contacted, who promised that the issue will be dealt with as soon as possible, and I believe work is going on as we speak. So if you need any more information, it's really through the Northern Power Grid, because it is a power problem.
That one.
Yeah.
Councillor Meek.
Right, the lights went out before the 30th of August.
Well, I don't know about that, but all I know is it was reported on the 5th of September.
Yeah, I'll continue. And when I got back off holiday, it was brought to my attention, and I got around to going round them last night. I highlighted them. On Wharfdale, it starts at number 16 lamppost, goes through to 25. On Chevin, it's the full road, 2 to 10. It's the full Collingwood Way, that's all out. Washburn Close is all out. Ewington Close all out. Midthorpe Way all out. Warncliffe Place all out. Fewston all out. So this morning I thought, right, because I put them onto this system last night as well. Phoned North Yorkshire this morning. I got this young lady on the reception answering the phone, and she went through all the rigmarole, and she says it's been handed over to Northern Grid. So she says, right, we have a reference number for it, so I'm going to bring electricity. Oh, we haven't got one. I said, you're telling me that you've handed something over to Northern Electricity, so what do you do when you ring them up? Surely she got a reference number, but she won't give me it. And then the next thing, I says to her, it's dangerous, you cannot see and in front of you. And I mean that. And she says, well, the street lights are only there for motorists. That was her words. So then I says, could you make sure that Ellen Squires has got all this information? That was this morning. So I don't know if it's been passed on to you or not.
Well, I've heard nothing since this morning.
And then I went on for Northern Grid. Anybody wants number? 0800 6688 77. And what was the first question? Bearing in mind, this young lady says, there's no reference number. What's the first question she asked me? Have you got a reference number? I says, well, apparently North Yorkshire haven't. So, I had a good conversation with her. She gave me all the dates, which contradict your dates that you've got.
Well, I only know what I've been told.
Yeah. Which are the 31st of the 8th. That's when all these was reported to them. I'm going back to this young lady. She says, well, Northern Grid's got 50 to 90 days to cure it. So I said, you're joking, of course. Anyway, going back to this one at Northern Grid, she says, we have 28 days to cure this problem. Good conversation with her. I got more information out of her than I did in North Yorkshire. So I think whoever's on the desk could do with some more training.
Well, it is a supply problem.
It may be, but if you're in North Yorkshire, you expect some decent answers, and she didn't come forth with any telephone numbers, nothing. All she wanted to do was palm it off. Virtually wasn't interested. So if you could look into it.
But apparently the local engineer has said the problem will be dealt with as soon as possible. So, I mean, they are working on it.
No doubt, if you can just look into this receptionist.
Yes.
It's not very helpful to members of the public.
Did she give you her name?
Did, but I want quick enough to take it down.
We won't get an end. Now, Councillor Mike Cockle did contact me regarding a road closure on John Street on Friday. The local highways office were not aware of any road closure, so therefore it's assumed it would be some sort of an emergency that was needed. And Andrew did check with the Streetworks team, and they've got nothing on their systems either. So we don't really know why that was. We assume it was something to do with an emergency vehicle of some sort. But there is a road closure to run in John Street for 10 days between the 1st of October and the 21st of December. And this is to allow for some patching repairs. But please note that they have yet to determine exactly when the 10 days will be. But the engineers carrying out the scheme is aware that the food festival is on the 13th and 14th, so he is aware of that.
Councillor Anthony?
I'm sure there's something being put on the schedule for December.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, is that the one you were saying?
Yeah, the closure plan between the 1st of October and the 21st of December, but I don't know when within that period at this point in time.
We were led to believe it was for a period of 28 days, and this is what's got all the traders panicking that...
Oh, well, I was told 10.
Well, on the information that came out, I'm sure it said 28 days.
Well, I'll check that, because I've been told 10.
Because people were obviously perturbed.
I can't see why patching would take 28 days. That's been excessive.
I think the 28 days is actually a period for them to do it in.
Yes, I know.
Yes,
No.
yes, I know that, but they're going to be disrupted over a period of 28 days, which is not good. You never know which day it's going to be.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions? Councillor Alderman?
I don't know if this is the appropriate time to talk about John Street, to bring up about the REP, because that's
I was just coming back next. Yeah, I think I will talk about it.
yeah.
We talked about it weeks ago. Right. There has been a letter from some representative of the traders of John Street regarding the widening. And Andrew's been asked by the businesses in John Street regarding modernisation and regeneration of John Street. The proposal of widening the pavement on both sides creating a loading and disabled bay outside the relocated post office, making the street a single carriageway. By doing this, a wider footpath outside the cafes, restaurants and retail premises would be created, allowing them to bring their businesses out onto the pavement, which would create extra revenue for the council by charging rent for the use of the pavement. This is their words. But utmost, it would give John Street a modern and cosmopolitan feel, and hopefully in the future give space to other street attractions such as markets or street traders, which again would create extra revenue for the council. So that is what has come from a representative of the traders. Now,
Just before you go on, Councillor Mead wants to come in on that one, I think.
If I'm correct, St John Street is a single carriageway because it's a one-way street now.
yeah.
It's only double at one end when they're going to turn left and right.
I'm using the words that have come from the...
Well, all I can suggest is, whoever's giving you this information, Ellen, doesn't know what they're talking about.
Well, they are a trader in John Street.
Well, they can.
He's only trying to...
Well, whoever's giving you, they're wrong.
Yes. Right, I'll give you the response. I'll give you the response. We have previously worked with Five Town Council looking at such alterations in John Street as part of their funding bid for the National Productivity Investment Fund, and the costs associated with such proposals are significant. Unfortunately, the financial resources required are not currently available. Should the situation change, we will of course consider your proposals along with any others we receive. And so that is how it stands at the moment.
Well, if I may,
Yeah.
I've got the copies of the emails that have been sent here. They are going back to, because they did actually go to Area 3, who wrote Helen Watson, and then obviously went to Andrew, got referred to Andrew Stanton. And they are going back again with what they basically want is some kind, I know we have this gentleman's understanding of agreement of where you can put your wares out to on John Street, but there is nothing put enforced, or I think maybe we could even have that, so all traders have the same rights on that street. They would prefer it to be as was originally described on the email, apart from it being a one-way street. But they're aware that that's going to be probably not available to them. So if they could just get some clarity, or the town could clarity where they can have the A-board, the fish shop on the corner, First Catch where they have their A-board, just so that everybody's under the same guise, rather than some seem to have more or have more space than others.
Right.
And they are going to write.
I think we'll always come back to this enforcement issue.
Yeah.
So we've got some way of enforcing it. I don't really think we're going to make a lot of progress, to be honest.
But there's only a gentleman thing that it's only so many blocks wide, and that is even, anybody could go as far as they like. I don't know how you could say you couldn't, because there's nothing there to say you can't go 5. I mean, people can't walk now down some of them. I mean, traders want to be able to put the wares out, that's not an issue. You just want to make sure that everybody's doing it the same, because some places have got a lot more out front than others.
Right.
I know it's difficult.
Yeah.
But they're still going to write back anyway and put another thing forward.
Yeah.
We've gone through all this.
I'm sure.
Years ago back. Councillor Cockle should be able to furnish you with a plan that he came up with for all traders.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know whether they all accepted it or whether anything was put in place officially, anything like that. He went round purposely and said, right, on that road there, you can have 4, because it's a wide, say
There is a
outside.
plan somewhere.
Yeah.
Councillor Cockrell should be able to tell you where that plan is, or who to ask. Because he went round to the same issue, that people were having more than others, and this and the other,
It's coming back time and time again. I mean, I do agree, I think it would be quite nice to see some sort of pedestrianisation of it. But it's the time of guy at the moment, we just haven't got the money to do it.
That's something different. That's a bigger, wider issue of the whole of Filey Town Centre. That's not that's something separate to like
Yeah.
the A-bonds.
Right, thank you for that, can we, Councillor Haxby?
I mean, currently you buy a shop and it's got a narrow pavement and you've got to accept you can't put stuff outside. That's the way of life. If you buy a shop with a big pavement, you can. But having driven down John Street every day for the last million years, it does become very congested with shops on the right-hand side, loading, unloading, disabled parking. You can't increase that footpath any wider if that's what they're suggesting.
Yeah,
There's no way you can do
I
it.
don't think it's as simple as what they're
You know,
making out in
it's a case of he can do it, why can't I? You can't do it because your pavement's not wide enough too. You bought the shop. I know it sounds hard, but that's the way of life. You can't give everybody a 10-foot pavement.
Councillor Anthony first, and then Councillor Gordon.
When the Champions to Working Party were looking at pedestrianising John Street, I mean that was never going to come off, but we did look at a similar thing to what you're talking about, and Andrew Stanton knew exactly what we could and we couldn't do, but of course the money will come from the county council, you know, they would have to apply for some sort of grant themselves if they got
we
it
need to
free.
find some funding from somewhere,
Yeah.
and it would be a significant cost.
Oh, absolutely, yes, I remember.
Right, thank you for that. Councillor Holden Barnes?
It's just a reflection on what Councillor Haxby said. I don't think anybody's against putting it out, but some traders down that street put a lot more out than other traders on that street that are supposed to, and the street's the same width up and down that street, and some put a lot more out, and I think that's causing a lot of agitation with other traders on that street, that's all.
I'm just responding to what they actually think about.
I mean, I've got a shop and I don't put one thing outside of mine.
Right,
We know we were, we
do keep coming back to the enforcement issue, and until it can be enforced, I think it's very difficult.
especially with the A-boards.
Yes.
I mean, we've been on about A-boards for years,
Yes.
especially one outside the corner cap that is massive. Right, I'm only waiting for somebody to have an accident there and then we'll leave go.
Yeah, people move them back for a bit and then they creep out again.
Well, once upon a time, they used to take the A-boards away.
Yes.
And then
Just go and get them and take them away. And then they have to pay for them to come back, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
It is correct.
So that is another way of actually saying to them, if you don't get this moved, we're taking them away. But you've got to give notice to it.
Which just brings me to my my last item. If you want me to use the environmental budget that I have, £5,000, for anything to do with highways, I need to know urgently to get it in, because there won't be time to do it in this financial year. And I'm just thinking off the top of my head, and I haven't asked if it was possible, I'm just wondering about the trial period for some sort of warrant that you suggest enforce such things, like a trial period. I'm just wondering if
Well, like a traffic warning or a...
yeah, except it would be for rainbows and what have you.
Working very nicely, that.
I don't know, I'm just wondering, £5,000, how many hours was that by?
I don't want
That was the dog one that we
That's the dog
picked up.
one.
Well, that's the
I don't know, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, I don't even know if it's possible, I need to see the criteria. But if you want any highways issue done, I need to know urgently to get it
Do
put in.
dog warnings come in highways? No, I mean, if they do it on the highway, Councillor Anthony.
I thought we talked about at the last meeting that Councillor Holden Branson said about some sort of something in Memorial Gardens, environmental.
Is that going forward? Is that a firm proposal?
The latest,
Well, this Memorial Gardens isn't a highway issue, so there isn't the same urgency with that. But I do want to really make a start on getting this money.
Can we just have the signs cleaned then?
You would like it?
Well, I would, from anybody else.
The road signs,
The road signs.
clean, so people can see it.
But should that be a statutory requirement of the Yorkshire County Council?
Exactly. Councillor Thurston.
Yeah, along with road signs, there's been some graffiti on traffic island signs. The ones by the petrol filling station, they've got some black.
Sorry, on which side, please?
On the bollards, on keep left signs.
Oh, yes.
There's at least 2 on that roundabout that have been graffitied, and one up Scarborough Road as well. And it's the same tag on all of them.
Which is just a
So
sort
it
of thing I
ties
was
in.
meaning, to just sort of...
It ties in between the street signs.
They
and
look,
everything. Yeah.
But I am going out of time, if you would like to... Because I need to have an account to work through.
Right, Councillor Anthony.
It strikes me we're always complaining that we don't get any money given to Filey, and now we're being offered it and we can't think of anything to spend it on. I mean, surely we can come up with something useful now.
Well, I mean, we have been on about these fines since June.
Right, Councillor Wright and then Councillor
Right.
Haxby.
Well, I can't say this, but some of the signs have been cleaned, not all of them. Some of the signs are an absolute utter disgrace. I can't remember the last time that North Yorkshire actually cleaned a sign. I don't think it's in the last 20 years, to my knowledge.
I don't think they do clean signs.
No, they don't. And also, there's a lot of signs around Filey. Now, I don't know whether these are North Yorkshire signs or Scarborough Borough signs, but there's some that still pointing people to the information centre. And they're still pointing people to places that they don't exist. And they're in bad repair as well. The blue signs, and I feel that they are Scarborough Council signs, those, but the other signs, I think.
But if we could just go around and have a look at them all, and if it is Scarborough Council, then we would tell you as well. If not, we would try and deal with anything that is the county council's department.
There is some blue paint on the pavement down John Street. Now, I had a look at it, thought, is this somebody who's doing something with the pavement? Because it looks like, I don't know what it looks like. It's like 3 things up like that with one, I don't know.
That's
Something.
Yorkshire Water, I think.
Oh, it's Yorkshire
Some
Water, is it?
markings,
Oh, right, looks like graffiti to me. Thank you.
No, they marked the pavement.
Oh, right.
Right,
Sorry.
have you any more? Councillor Holden Banks?
With regarding the money, is it possible? Sorry, am I
No, it's all right, carry on. Carry on, Councillor Holden Banks.
Back to the original one that I think you brought forward, that somebody mentioned to you about outside of the church, the right turn onto West Avenue. Is that something we could revisit, have a look at?
No, not at the
okay.
moment, because because of all the rules and regulations around it, there is nothing that can be done with that at the moment.
Right,
We are
okay.
happy with it. At least I don't know of any scheme that you would be happy with.
Councillor Haxby?
Ellen, I mentioned last week at the last meeting about the proliferation of signs advertising caravan sales, caravan sites, illegal signs being placed on your roundabout, actually put on grey poles exactly identical to your poles. They're still there. You're coming from Bridlington, there's more signs on that A165 advertising the bay, Haven Holidays, stuck in hedges on the roadside. You're coming from Scarborough, you start off at the Bork End roundabout, that's full of signs for the flower bay. You come in, you get Haven caravans on every lamppost, every speed sign, and every roundabout has 3 illegal signs on it now. All blue, all looking like a road traffic sign. actually saying Blue Dolphin Holiday Camp. These really do need sorting out because it's becoming a hell of an eyesore on our entrances to the town.
Well, that's exactly why I agreed with Tom, that it was something that we could perhaps look at.
Well, it's still there, so
Just make it better.
It's been there all summer, and when the circus comes, that's another 50,000 signs that appear all year. It goes on and on and on, and they used to take them down, as Richard said, they used to charge for giving them back.
Well, I don't think we can cure everything, but if we could just cure something.
Councillor Anthony.
I asked you last time, Helen, about that sign on Mitford Street that you were going to see about. They've suggested they move it forward, but nothing's been said since.
I did mention it, but I'll mention it again.
Right, thank you.
I did say about it, but actually, nothing come back to me.
Right, thank you.
I
Councillor Wright.
do agree with John about all these little signs, but you know the ones you're talking about on the roundabouts, on grey poles? They are a new firm that has been given the job of going out and selling advertising for the roundabouts. And they used to be done through Scarborough Council, and they're not now. They're out to a firm who goes round and gets them, and they've gone in and put in these grey poles which are higher than they used to be, and put these signs on.
Not the ones that say sponsored by, these are 4 foot high.
Oh.
There's 3 on each roundabout that says Blue Dolphin Holiday Camp. Not sponsored by.
Would you like me to go forward with trying to...
Well, just have a look on your way back, Helen, you'll see them.
Well, yes, I've seen them, I'm not disputing that, but...
I think it's a traffic hazard because it's detracting from the proper sound for a start.
But is it a project that you would like to take forward?
I think it's a statutory duty, the county should be taking them down anyway. If it's an illegal sign, it's causing a traffic hazard.
Well, I'll tell them again. Right. Well, I haven't...
Probably not got a decision on what to spend this £5,000 on.
It's if you want something on the highway that I'm most concerned about.
Highway.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I've got to get that in, I'm out of time for it, really.
So this footpath thing on John Street isn't a highway thing then?
No, too much on here.
No, I meant just putting, I don't mean this road closure, I mean just like the pavement. Is that highway or no?
Yes,
Pavement.
yes, it's
So
highway.
couldn't we use that money to try and enforce something on the roads, on the pavement, sorry, so we can
What,
get
for
some...
the line?
What, just put
Do
trains
a
in,
person,
you mean?
For a person to go round and enforce. Sorry.
Would you like me to look into see that?
I'm just wondering if we've got, well, yes, please.
Well, it would have to just be a pilot, because obviously £5,000 isn't going to spend, it isn't going to get you...
No, but at least we're listening to traders and other people and maybe trying to move some... Unless anybody else has got any ideas what they want to do.
And I mean, if you do a pilot, how are you going to take it forward?
Exactly. Oh, well, maybe not then.
I don't know, I'm just...
Yeah.
Councillor Roderick.
Thank you very much for, I don't know how this happened, but regarding the cleaning of the verges. I got an email from you saying, can you inform me of where it's were? And the same day a man turned up and had a look. Since then, we are now I think it's a water feature, which is pouring down West Road at a rate of knots. We've got a big hole in the road, a pond in that, and road closures on and off since Friday of last week. They've been on Friday, dug a hole, the trickle is now a flood, and I regret to say it's still streaming down on the corner of Scarborough Road. I have got no idea what they had been. I did ask them, and they seem to have less idea than I did about what they were doing.
Corner of Scarborough Road?
It's corner at the bottom of West Road, as you're going round to Scarborough Road. It's literally pouring. I'm so sorry to that girl at because she's got a lot. But it's literally pouring out. It was a trickle. It's now running, and it's clear water. It's good water, and I think this is appalling.
Sounds like it's Yorkshire water, isn't it?
It sounds like it's somebody, but you keep telling contractors, you see, this is the trouble. And you talk to the contractor, but a blooming clue why he's there anyway, just told to dig the hole, right? Then somebody else comes and fiddles about. And we've still got water pouring down after a week nearly, so something needs to be done, I think.
That it could be Yorkshire
Sounds
water.
like it's Yorkshire.
I think it's Yorkshire water, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Right.
Right, is there any more questions for Councillor Swales?
No,
Councillor...
not a question, Chair. I suppose like all councillors, I'm beginning to lose the will to live. Because every month, time is taken up in this chain with signs, either on poles or on the road, and I think most of the problem stems from the lack of walkabouts. We used to have regular walkabouts with both borough engineers and county engineers, and that took all this away from meetings because they were given a wish list and they went away and things were done. Councillor Cross initiated regular walkabouts with Paul. They've gone now. And, you know, I think if we could get back to those, we could spend more time discussing important issues other than blooming signs on posts and white lines and yellow lines. That's my rant over for this evening, Chair.
Are you sure?
I'm certain.
Excuse me as well if I may interrupt.
Yes.
Before that, we had proper meetings about it. We used to hold a proper road meeting, because I used to chair it. And then we used to have the walkabouts as well as that, and come back to the meetings. But they all got put by because they couldn't come.
Right, Councillor Anthony, and then we'll move on.
Can we ask the clerk then to see about setting up some of these meetings?
I don't think you'll go.
And I'm sure our county representatives don't want to come to a meeting every week with us.
Well, like this.
What? Say that again.
I'm sure our county representatives don't want to come to a monthly meeting and have all this.
No.
And down the throat.
It seems as though you're catching it all.
We just need to go around the same track a lot.
We do, I know.
It's engineers we need to speak to, no disrespect to Helen, but it's engineers we need.
Is there anything else?
Is there any other member of
It is about road markings
Oh no.
on Mitford Street. You've got, on the same side as the Salvation Army, you've got parking bay. Both ends are shown parking bay. And what have you got between these parking bays? It even goes over the white lines.
Yeah.
You've got double yellow lines.
Yes.
Only reason we can't enforce it is because there's no start sign on the double yellow lines saying what restrictions are, and there's no finish sign on it. So everybody's parking there, quite entitled to do so. They haven't got to find anybody.
I wish they'd been on the council all these years. I know too much.
Right, thank you for that, Councillor.
Not burning up.
I think...
Just to say, that was all done by a mistake. The town clerk at the time was supposed to go down, meet somebody and put double yellow lines outside the fish shop. But he got the wrong end of the stick and told them to put them on the other side of the road. Then when he put them on the other side of the road, everybody complained. And the Salvation Army said, we've got disabled people coming to the army, so we want disabled parking. So they said, well, we can't bear them off because we can't afford it. So we'll leave them and put the others on the top of it. And nothing's been done since. So that's the story of the yellow lines in Mitford Street. If you want to know about the yellow lines, just ask me.
Right, thank you for that. Thank you for coming along, Councillor Swires. Right, we'll move on now. Number 7, the Town Clerk RFO report. David. Sorry.
I'm sorry, Councillor Holly's not here. This is time to read the report that we've got from the LPA.
Well,
no?
Well, wait until Daisy's done his report.
Oh, I didn't know it was on here. Sorry, I thought it was in the back. Sorry.
What we're in a chance to read the report, any questions, otherwise I've got a couple of updates that I'd like to give you since I've sent the report out. With respect to the statue, I have received yesterday approval from the estate department to go ahead. The only outstanding thing now is to get confirmation from the planning department that no planning permission is required. I have sent an email to that respect to get them to confirm that ASAP.
So hopefully we should have it in situ for...
Hopefully we should have it in situ. It's got 4 to 6 weeks lead time. As long as we get everything sorted by the end of this month, it will be in situ on time.
Right, thank you for that. Any questions on the report? Councillor Haxley?
Just what David said, why don't we go ahead and order it anyway? We've got the money for it, even if we can't put it in there, we'll find someone to put it in. You know, I mean, I'm just worried that it might overrun the day Remembrance Sunday, and then we are in the car rush. And I say, we've allocated the money, let's go and buy it, and if we can't put it in the Memorial Garden, which hopefully we can, we'll find somewhere for it.
Is everybody in agreement with that?
Yeah.
Can you show, please?
Yeah.
Right, thank you. Go ahead, please. Okay. Any more questions for Alpha?
In a roundabout way, it's tied in with the statue for the 5th for the memorial on the 11th. It's a PA system.
For?
What we have is crap.
Apparently, the British Legion have got the Lions PA system for that day. Okay?
Right.
Can I just come back on that? As far as I'm aware, Chair, the PA system's been working perfectly okay at the bank concerts. So why it always goes up in Memorial Gardens, I have no idea.
It works fine on the electrical supply, but when it goes on the battery power, it dies very, very quickly.
Thank you.
It is something that we have got on to mention in the next couple of months in terms of a suggestion that we actually purchase a new one or have the existing one refurbished.
So, property members, that will be on the property committee agenda. Okay. Is there any more questions for our clerk? Okay. Yes, Councillor Shackleton.
I'd just like to ask like I was getting on with this.
I went on a course today actually.
Yes.
And I am now underway. I'm now a mentor. I have got the okay to go ahead and do at least half of the work. And the next session we're having is in the first week of October, where I'll be putting in the first 4 of 20 reports. I have completed my intro course already.
Okay, is there any more questions? No? Okay then, we'll move on to number 8 on the agenda. Minutes of the ordinary meeting held on Wednesday the 8th of August 2018. You've all had a chance to read the minutes. Please could I have a proposal and a seconder to approve them? You have a proposal, Councillor Mead? Seconder?
No, I'm not seconding, I'm just questioning.
Right, just a minute then.
Agreeing with them.
Councillor Haxby, second? Right, Councillor Mead and Councillor Haxby. All those in favour of those? Go on.
I don't agree that they are correct. There's a bit missing off of here that at the point 142-18 that Councillor Roderick did actually apologise to Councillor Haxby. It's not on here. It says, at this point, Councillor Haxby read out a statement in which he wished it to be known that he was not responsible for supplying any information to the North Yorkshire Inquirer regarding the new councillor prior to the recent by-election. Councillor Roderick objected to the use of the word sordid and requested that he withdraw this word from his statement. He declined. Standing orders 3E was suspended at this point to permit a member of the public to speak. The member of the public confirmed that Councillor Haxby was not the person responsible for passing any information on to the North Yorkshire Inquirer. Standing order 3E was reinstated at this point, and that's the end, but she did actually apologise.
Right. that wants amending then to state that he did actually...
She apologised to Councillor Hyde.
Okay.
Whether we accepted it or not, I don't know, but it's an apology.
So with that amendment in,
Accept the amendment.
can we accept them, please? Okay. Right, we're going to number 9 now. Council committee minutes. Council received a summary by the chair of the meetings below and to note the minutes. I hope you have all had a chance to read the minutes. Before we note these minutes, could I ask the chairs of each committee if they have anything they wish to comment on? Anything in the minutes? Do any chairs wish to comment? First, Town Guardian, Matt.
I have no comments, it's Chair, it's self-explanatory, but I'll answer any questions if anybody's got anything, but other than that, it's the true and correct record of the meeting.
Could we have a proposer and a seconder as this is a true and correct record? All those in favour, please? Yep. Strategic planning meeting. Committee meeting. Anybody? Oh, it's me.
Miles away.
I'm going on holiday tomorrow, Marion, that's why.
Holiday mode.
Yes, is there, I've read through them and I can't see anything in them that's amiss. So in that case, I propose we have a seconder. A proposer and a seconder for these minutes. Could I have a proposer, please? Councillor Anthony and Councillor Wright. Was you at that meeting?
Yeah, not
Right.
the first 2 minutes.
No, that's fine, Councillor Wright. Just making sure that's
Rush it in.
Yeah. Okay. All those in favour of that, please. Right. Go on. Over. Check. Is that it? Yeah. Thank you very much. We'll move on to number 10 then, please. Schedule of payments. Do any members wish to make a comment or ask questions about the schedule? Anybody? Councillor Mead.
Right, got BT. Fibre. Broadband. Fair enough, it's a lot better than it was. Days of communications. Do we have 2 different firms for telephone and BT?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
The telephone is still with Daisy. The Wi-Fi provision is, or the internet provision is with BT.
I don't know if you've looked into it or thought about it, or if council's thought about it. Would it be better to have it all under, or cheaper to have it all under BT?
I think it depends upon when the contract comes to its end.
I think it's still under contract.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we've just run out of all, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah. Not like being tied up
Normally,
together.
it's quite a lengthy contract. My memory serves me right, because I could look at
Okay, is there any more questions? No? Could I have a proposer then and a seconder, please? To approve this schedule? Councillor Shackleton and Councillor Wright. All those in favour, please? Okay. Number 11. Council committee members. Has Councillor Aubrey had any opportunity to review which of the available committees she would wish to join?
Yeah, thanks very much for allowing me time to have a look at them, because I only got the minutes during the night. I'm quite willing to serve on any that were previously served by the councillor. Well, not wages and like these before, but no longer with us.
So is there any wish you name?
No, as I say, I had a look to see which ones he's been on, and I'm quite willing to serve on the same committees that he was on, other than Catherine Banks had already said that she was going to go on to the Valley Tourism one, which I knew anyway that this was going to be done. So the others are quite all right by me, thank you very much. I haven't been to complain about it.
Well, the trouble was that obviously the setup of the committees was actually arranged subsequent to, well, it wasn't actually, was it? No. So yeah, anywhere there was a vacancy was the vacancies that were
That was for
previously
vacated, yeah, this is my understanding.
Yeah, no, that's fine, Councillor Roderick. So it will be the Councillor Roderick will be on the Events and Lighting Committee, the Property Committee and the Town and Guide Committee.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right, thank you very much for that. Dark tourism. Yeah. Right. We'll move on then now. Number 12. St Oswald's Church, the council to consider the issues currently occurring in the vicinity of St Oswald's Church and any actions that the council may take. Well, the actual council cannot give any money to a church. They cannot give it to a church. So if there's any money involved in any transactions or anything like that, it cannot do it. Okay?
Sorry, Chair, I don't understand where that, when you said about money, is that something that's tied
Well,
up with it?
if the council wanted to give any money for any projects or anything like that,
Oh, I think that's
associated to the church itself.
All right.
I don't mean the groups, I mean
Right.
the church itself. Right? We cannot do that. It's a clause in the
Local Government Act 1894, Section 3, if my memory serves me correct.
and it has not been
What was that there?
So consequently, we cannot give any money at all to that cause, with it being church. Councillor Alden Banks first, and then Councillor Wilkie. Councillor Alden Banks.
I actually asked this to be put on the agenda because with all these thefts from St Oswald, I've had numerous amounts of local people coming to speak to me at their despair of what's happening. Obviously, good news from the police, and we have moved forward and we have found somebody. I have spoken to the is it minister at St Oswald? No, Reverend? I'm not really sure. Yeah, Reverend at St Oswald. And I am very aware that they're in the Diocese of York. They are in principle not against having CCTV put up in their grounds. I wasn't aware until I spoke to David that they couldn't apply for. I just said that there was funding from Farley Town Council if they meet the correct criteria, which obviously they don't. But then I was also informed that Methodist Church has got money from the council. So if Methodist Church has got money from this council or whichever area of the council, I wasn't unaware that the Church of England couldn't also apply.
I did actually, I might have trained today, I took it upon myself to ask a few questions on this because I knew it was going to see me. And the advice I was given back was that we should not be providing grants to any Christian
Sorry, no, it's religious if you don't manage it. It's religious, not Christian.
Yes, religious organisations.
Otherwise, the local mosque
organisations for anything which is intrinsic to the buildings, the grounds, etc. of those areas.
Yeah. So the outcome of it all was, after speaking to Nigel, I think his name is, who I've never spoken to before, but I spoke to him on the phone, and I don't know whether he's like this as a character or not, but I found him to be very slow at coming forward with things. And he just seemed to feel it would take an awful long time to get it up and running and to apply for all they needed to apply to have the actual CCT put up in the ground. It would possibly take a year. A lot of local people feel so strongly about it that there has been mentions of web pages being put in of collection monies. But he is taking it to his own meeting, which is on Thursday night, the council meeting of the church, to have a conversation with it there. He is aware there's an awful lot of public distress about it, and obviously wants, and he was also aware that there's been somebody arrested as well. But I spoke to Councillor Husman, who's not here, and one of the committee she sets on says they might have some funds that they could help towards. I don't know if that's still not relevant to what you're saying. Can they not get on that?
From the council's body, it's very difficult.
So what we gave to Methodist then was just just before we knew we should have done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they got money to do it.
Yeah, I think that.
So what I've basically, just to end my bit of this, is I've put it all back to the church and just told them that what we can and can't do, which obviously I will furthermore say now what you've told me, but they're going to take it up themselves. I just want you to know the council that I have been speaking with them.
Good. Councillor Roderick.
Right, I do know, because I do know that there are two funds that it can apply to. I have passed this on to Nigel, to Reverend Nigel.
Oh.
It's just that I happen to know they were existing, but I did raise this when the money was given. We were talking about the money for the
CCTV.
No, well, that, and we got you give us money, did you not, for the repairs to the clock tower?
Yeah.
And I raised this at the time saying, well, I'm surprised you've got this sheet, because in my understanding they couldn't give it to us. And I was given the impression that there was a fund that you managed, if you like, that not directly involved with it, that this is where it came from. I will bring this up without fail, I tell you, I queried it at the time. I thought it was wrong. And I said, oh, it's all right because it's somebody they bought from whoever. And I think, if you can't do it one, you can't do it another. It's fair, it's got to be fair, hasn't it? It's right to take it up. Well, I'll go there, don't get me wrong, but I do think that I was baffled that it was actually given, let's put it that way. It did confuse me more than a bit.
The actual clock on the Methodist one is repaired. I think it's by Scarborough Council. So that way, through Scarborough Council, that can actually happen. But if you give it direct to the organisation like churches or chapels or any other organisation like that that's Christian, you cannot do it, not direct.
That was my understanding of it, and this is why I said it at the meeting at the time, in the chapel, that how comes this has arrived? And nobody seems to have got a very good idea. I now understand better how it was worded to SBC. That does make sense, and thank you very much for that.
Okay?
Thank you, yeah.
So that's how that works. Councillor Shackleton.
Yeah, just to clarify points. Several years ago we were approached by the Methodist Church and they applied for a grant towards the repair of the clock tower. It came in from finance and indeed this full council, and it was agreed that the grant should be given. Had we known at the time that we could not give this grant, it would not have been awarded. So therefore in the future, when the church or religious body does apply, we will stick to the criteria that is written down in law that we cannot give that.
Now, it works something like this. If, say, there's a baby and toddler group, just for instance, right, they apply.
Community group.
It's a community group, not straight to the church, and that's how it happens. And that's how they should do
Come
it.
back, Chair, we've given a grant to St John's.
Exactly, true.
But that's for the community.
Exactly.
For the parish hall.
Exactly. So, Councillor Holden then.
It's just out of curiosity, would you see, I mean, they're not asking, they're just asking for some money towards, well, they're not even asking for it actually, it was just a suggestion that's been said towards putting one. So CCTV not known as a community thing then for seeing people take things off of graves and, is that not, no?
No, still.
That's, I just want to be able to give information back correctly to people that are asking me the questions, that's all.
It's actually in the law, it fundamentally states the act of a churchyard or church grounds is absolutely permitted not to spend anything on those.
Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Councillor
Yeah,
Captain, then we'll move
as
on.
far as I'm aware, this is a one-off event entirely. I don't think it's, that I've ever heard of it happening before. And listening to Inspector Short this evening, it just appears that the problem is over.
Yes,
So hopefully, you know, there'll be no need for further action. We'll have to wait and see.
Okay, is everybody happy with that? Right, thank you very much then, we'll move on to number 13. Now, policy consultation. I hope you have had a chance to read the report. Can I ask if, for comments and suggestions for discussion on this topic, if any? Councillor Anthony.
I think it's certainly something we should be doing some feedback on, whether it's done through one of our committees or I think that would probably be the best way to go, but I think we can't just not have any response to this.
No. There has been, I can tell you this now, that there has been quite a bit of response from North Yorkshire YLCA, which I'm an exec on that board, that's how I know, and that a lot of positive, I can't say what was the responses were, but I do know there was a heck of a lot of responses from North Yorkshire, because YLCA covers the whole of North Yorkshire, right, and including parts of Poland, just over Poland as well.
But they don't know about Piney like we do, so.
No. But every parish council, town council and borough have been asked to any questions, anything that they can give towards this consultation. Because this is now not North Yorkshire YLCA, sorry. Alright, this is the main one. This is national.
Yes, I don't know, this is why I'm saying we need to respond, and we've only got to the 25th to...
Right. So if there is any, Councillor Haxton.
I think Alan's right, we need to have a special meeting on this, because you look at every paragraph heading, we've got problems from lack of funding from the borough, transport problems, house prices escalating, higher than national average elderly, it goes on and on and on, and it really needs a special meeting to get all these documents in and off to go. Can't do it tonight, that's...
No.
Could I just remind everyone that I think the end date for the consultation is somewhere on the 25th, 26th of September.
So we've not much time.
You know, if I can suggest that I'll arrange a meeting on this for as early as possible.
Okay. Do you all agree with that?
Sure.
Right, thank you for that.
So just as an aside to that, is that would it be preferential for that meeting to be during the day or in the evening?
Daytime were good for me, but don't let just one person, one working person.
Excuse me,
Stop
swearing.
It can probably help if the members could look at the headings.
Yes.
And just maybe a couple of notes on each one. Submit it to David, and then at least we're not going over, everybody's got a copy of it all.
Exactly. Yes.
Well, in the meeting, when I sent it out, I'll ask Peter to prepare work for him coming in to be able to give us comments at the time.
Yes. Okay. Is everybody happy on that? Right. Thank you. We'll move on to number 14, dog warden. The council to consider the need for a dedicated Friday dog warden and to review the potential methods of providing this person if required. Can I ask for comments and suggestions for discussion on this topic? Councillor Anthony. It's all right, it's all right.
They haven't got a name.
Exactly, Marion.
Why haven't got a
Exactly.
name, so?
I forgot to put them out.
Oh, that's all right.
Exactly.
Very odd.
This is why every now and again, and this is what the chair does, he looks at the names in front of the people, so doesn't the Marion?
Yeah.
And it helps a great deal. I've actually written them down from that side round. So, okay.
I asked for this to be put on the agenda because a couple of weeks ago I had a meeting with Keep Farley Tidy. They wanted to sort of open up channels with the borough about the things that they were asking for that weren't forthcoming. I was quite happy to do that. Hence the meeting with Harry Briggs. And they decided while he was in Filey to sort of test him out on this idea of having a dog warden in Filey. What I was thinking of is that it would be paid for by Filey Town Council.
Looking at me for
No, well, because you're Mr Finance.
Not only
No, I know. I'm Skangaroo.
We have a committee.
Yeah.
It's very democratic.
Except when you're trying to get on the committee.
That's also democratic. It's voted on in this chamber. So I don't want comments like that, Councillor.
Councillor.
Can we move on?
So, there's enough money in the coffers. This is something that Keep Farley Tidy do without thinking about day in, day out, picking up dog mess. It's becoming a real problem in Filey. It has been for donkey's years before I even arrived in Filey. And we're asking volunteers to pick it up and to bin it, and things are just getting worse. And I think they're looking to Filey Town Council now to do something about it. We know we're not going to get a dog warden over here for any length of time from the borough. I had a word with Harry Briggs just to sound it out, and he's had a word with Paul Thompson, and they would support this council in exploring further options. It's unclear at the moment if we can sort of deliver this under the PSPO. But that was something that they would need to look at in further detail. It may not be that at the moment that Filey could issue penalties.
I did look at this, Councillor Anthony, and the difficulty really is our ability to uphold the law, as it were, and then really the unknown costs around what that potentially could be. The legal costs are totally unknown, depending upon who pays it when it doesn't pay.
I'm not asking for this to be done on the cheap or to be done illegally, but the borough are quite happy to look at the PSPO and help us understand it a bit better. And if necessary, they can authorise us to issue penalties. Otherwise, it would be a matter of checking details, getting evidence, and then getting the borough to issue penalties, which I think would possibly work equally as well.
Yeah,
what I would like this council to think about is how long this problem has been going on. It's not going to be solved by the borough. It's got to be solved by Filey. And at the moment we're just relying on volunteers to go on doing it, and quite honestly they're fed up of doing it and not getting any support from the council. So I would really like to know how members feel.
Carry on. Councillor Wilson.
I think we need to know a bit more about what the rules are. Obviously we'll get more information. Me personally, I'm quite prepared to explore that further, whether it could be something. So would it be, if we funded it, would it be us that control that dog warden or something under Filey Town Council? That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And that's where your issues came in there.
Yeah.
Is there a scope for it to be funded by us, but still under the borough's control? as
Well, I wouldn't want that particularly, that it would be under the borough's control. If we were paying for someone, then we...
But I mean,
it's under our
exclusively to
control.
Filey though, that's what I mean.
Yes, absolutely.
Exclusively to work in Filey.
It would be just employing another member of staff.
Yeah.
Councillor Stapleton first, and then Councillor Holden Vance.
I agree entirely with Councillor Anthony that there is certainly a huge problem with Dom in and around Filey and all the estates. Visitors are generally blamed, but as we all know, in the winter it's just as bad. And I have always said in this chamber that what we need is bums on seats in court. And until we get a number of Filey residents who are not picking up in court to teach others, dog walkers or whatever you want to call a lesson, I can't see the problem of getting on your leg. Regarding the dog warden, I don't know about productivity, whether, it would actually justify the cost. Because there is a cost to it, and if it's just Filey alone, you're looking at sick pay, holiday pay, and all the rest of the costs that go with it. I would rather push the borough for more hours with the dog warden and see how we go from there. And if we don't get more hours, revisit this and have another look. I would be sceptical about just employing one just for Filey.
Councillor Holden Vance.
Councillor Chapp has said categorically on a video that he did around dog messing in Filey that there's no more money, we're not getting anything else.
I watched a similar video and Councillor Chapp was most upset about all the dog dirt.
Unwilling to give us any money to do anything about it.
Use false words from Councillor Chapp, aren't they?
Yeah.
Councillor Holden Vance.
I fully agree with Councillor Anthony, and with the money that we pay for the gentleman on the seafront, is that Scarborough Council that pays for that, or do we pay for that?
We pay for certain weekends to sort of extend his time down there.
Is that something that maybe we could look at if we're doing weekends in the summer, as we do for that, something maybe we could put forward to look at, that we could actually have a dog warden at weekends, but when at the height of the season, I know we would like one all year round, but if we could just have some things, residents as well.
Yeah.
If we fund some of it towards...
Yeah, I think that's totally acceptable as long as he's employed by the borough.
Yeah.
And extra hours in Filey.
Right, thank you for that, Councillor Hansby.
Absolutely.
As I understand it, there are 3 dog wardens in the borough now.
2.5.
There was.
I like it to the speed cameras, there are very few, but you name me one person that speeds through Wixton, Bolton, down St Margaret's Road, and 9 times out of 10 you're not there. What they should do is get all 3 to blanket the town on an irregular basis, if you like. As John says, nick a few people, get the names in court, get the names in the paper, and they'll soon stop it because they never know where they're going to be. And do that for Whitby, Scarborough and Filey, just all the 2.5 blanket the town on irregular days and make sure they cover it. Get some people in court.
Councillor Stapleton and then Councillor Wright.
I don't think the problem with dog messing is done through the daytime. You're not going to get a dog warden to work nights. I think most of the people that don't pick up are doing so very early in the morning and late at night. So it's going to be difficult to catch them really. I mean, Queen Street's a prime example. You go down there any day and it's a mess. And I believe it's the same person that's not picking up. But Russ, the dog warden, has not been able to catch them.
Well, it's because he's never here.
He's been in Queen Street. He was in last year trying to catch.
Last year?
Well, yes, he has been enough.
Councillor Wright.
I agree that it would be an advantage to have somebody for ourselves, but I don't think it would warrant a full-time person. I think it would warrant a part-time person, with part-time money obviously, but on a very, what do you call it, ad hoc hours, that they could work so many hours a week when they felt that if they've got the intelligence to actually go out at different times at 6 o'clock in the morning when some of these people are out and do it. And if they're on the spot, they're more likely to do it and to go out. I mean, there are all the implications. Obviously, you've got insurances and, you know, employment and various things like that. But I see that if we could employ through the borough, don't get me wrong here, Marilyn, if you employed the person through the borough, they were given the laws through the borough, which would relieve us that. But they are an allocated person to Wiley only. That, you know, to come to some compromise that they're employed and the borough couldn't send them somewhere else. That they are, you know, say 20 hours in Wiley only, and we pay for that. That is a possibility. But a lot of things has got to be looked into and discovered. Would they want a van? Would they want somewhere where they could hold the dogs until, you know, they could do something with them? You know, there's various things to look at, but on the principle, I think it's an excellent idea because it is a problem. And I think it's a problem. I've been on this council over 20 years and we've talked about it numerous times a year till you get blasé about it because you just don't know what to do about it anymore. It might be a radical suggestion, you know, that we can take forward.
Right, thank you for that, Councillor Wright. Councillor Wilkie?
Well,
Councillor Shackleton.
I was just going to say, can we try and move forward and maybe the borough get some idea of what they could provide or what we could have or how much it's going to cost, so would they be prepared to do that, I think?
That's what all I was asking really, if everybody would agree for us to go forward and just investigate the possibility, whatever it might be.
Well, let's investigate some options and then let's come back and see what we can thrash out, because I think we need something. And generally, you see in any town, there's maybe 1, 2, 3 or 4 just real problem areas. It's not the whole blanket of the town, is it? There's some really bad areas that we all know about, and they're obviously the regular places. So I think it's a no-brainer. We're just going to try and get some idea what it's going to cost. Now we can move forward.
Right, thank you for that, Councillor Wilkie. Councillor Shackleton?
I've already said, you know, it is a good idea, and some things that need to be done. But, you know, I totally agree with Councillor Wright. My preference would be to pay the borough for extra hours. Having, you know, the board there on different days. If it's 1 day a week, have it here on Monday 1 week, Tuesday another week, and so forth. But I would like to say it needs to be controlled through this council and not through any outside working party.
Councillor Hackett?
Whoever gets the job will have to be trained under the Police and Criminal Evidence Act. And there's no way we as a local council can get that through. Only the borough can do that. So I think it's a great idea, let the borough sort all that side of it out and we just pay them through the fund.
Right. So to move forward then, could I ask somebody to propose that the clerk get some idea of cost and...
I'm proposing that we write to Scarborough Council and we see what they have to say, or virtually what Councillor and propose that, yes, do you want me to propose that?
I would like to get involved with it, seeing as a...
Yeah. With a lead on it? Oh. That was a joke. With a lead on it.
Let's time's going on,
Yes, it's right.
I know it is, so,
So, right, I'd like to propose then that we look further into this, that Councillor Anthony brought forward about having a part-time dog controlled by Private Council, employed by Scarborough.
right, now we've got a seconder for that one then, so the clerk will do that. Councillor Wilkie?
You were seconded by...
Oh, Councillor.
Can I just clarify one point, not control as such, but we see to all the details of it.
Yeah.
Owner, that's what I meant by
Employed
control.
by.
Right.
Yeah, this is what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
Just clarify that.
So it's terms of reference are controlled by
Yes.
us.
Shall we go? No, no, no?
Yeah, Rob, that's the purpose, yeah.
Right.
But can I just interject and say, don't rely upon writing and getting a reply, because you might be 2 months, you might be 3 months, you might be 6 months. Can you talk to people rather than write to people? But that was what was suggested, that you write to people.
Yeah, you're right, Councillor.
I said I would report back to the borough.
Yes.
Could I suggest that after that report, possibly yourself and myself will visit whoever's
Yes.
the relevant person
Yeah.
and get it sorted.
Yeah.
As to understanding what the whole thing means.
I mean, if any other councillors...
Are you happy with that,
Yeah.
Councillor Anthony? Does any of the councillors wish to go on that? No? Okay, Councillor Anthony, you and clerk will do that.
If we find out when that is, then other councils may be able to...
Exactly. It's a
Well, I
yeah.
would do it to suit
Yeah.
another councillor.
You keep us looped in through email as well. Okay. Right, we've got an extra little one here that's been missed off, and that is 14A, reports from councillors. Okay, and I know we have a couple, and that's Councillor Holden Banks first.
Could I ask at your discretion, when Jackie's read her report, that I be allowed to add some factual information?
Could I suggest that after Councillor Holden Banks has made a report, because I've had an email on the subject today, that we may want to discuss this in a much more fuller light in our next meeting, and in an appropriate manner at that meeting. So I would suggest that perhaps we just leave after the comment as of today, but make sure that it's fully on the agenda for the next meeting, so it can be discussed in an appropriate manner at that point in time.
Councillor Wilkie.
I haven't read it yet.
No, can I just ask that if this is on the agenda, we should defer it to the next?
Yes, this is it.
No, this, without Jackie reading anything else?
No, she can give a report, but any debate or anything like that on that report
Chair, there's
has
nothing
to
on...
go to the next meeting.
Sorry, Chair, there's nothing on the agenda for
No,
this
there's
report.
nothing on it. No, because it was missed off.
Well, still not on the agenda, is it?
Sorry, Chair, it's not on the agenda.
I would suggest that Councillor Wilkie is in fact correct, and in this instance it may be the most appropriate line to take.
I don't know what it is, so I'm not trying to hijack anything.
No,
I
fine.
just want to be right.
Well, as long as it's noted then that when the Finey Town, whatever this group is, ask why it wasn't read out, which they will ask, because they were very forceful it was read, that you can then say to them, that I don't want any more to do with it, I just want you then to say that it was read because of the mistake that it wasn't put on the agenda. Because I don't want them coming back
Well,
to me
it
saying...
actually was brought to us later than the agenda was actually given out, so if we put it on the agenda, it would have actually been in item 9, which is the reports
But I did interject then, and I was told by you later. I asked them.
Following Councillor Anthony's request.
I'm totally behind Council Anthony. I just don't want to come back from finding out.
No, I don't think there's any comeback. We're going through the proper procedure for this particular item.
Well, as long as you inform Piley Tourism Association, then that's fine by me.
I'll have to give that then. Otherwise you
No, well, that's fine. So that's it, I'm done with this, yeah?
Thank you. Okay then?
Well, I wanted to know.
I just didn't want it to be left open.
I don't think so.
Okay, we're going to move on then. There's one thing that I will bring out now, and that the Lawn Cemetery was awarded the Silver Gill last night. Okay. Silver Gill, yes. Yes, okay. And there's a plaque which is there to put up, as you know, Marion, you get ours, a plaque to put up. It's just been photocopied off. Okay, I said. And that was yesterday when we got that. Also, which is good news again for Piley, was Prince of Piley Park. They got gold and they got...
Point of order. Point of order. The items you're talking about, from the chair, they're not on the agenda. We should be moving on to item 15.
Oh, absolutely. Not on the
They
agenda.
should have come up.
Yeah.
Even though they were yesterday, they're not in time for this agenda, and they should go to the next meeting.
Well, it's a bit of a part of this agenda thing, isn't it, really?
I know it's nice telling you.
Councillor Cathal.
I'd just like to say, save your breath on me, because I looked on the website last night, so I know all the rules. It was on Facebook.
I just thought it was appropriate for the councillors to know what was happening from the Yorkshire in Bloom. That's all that we attended. I thought it would be a nice surprise for you, and to be honest, now I'm sorry I brought it up. Simple as that. Right, we're going to number 15 now, Council Office Boiler. I will now hand over to the clerk.
Producer report. In summary, the Council Office boiler has been somewhat temperamental over the summer. It's 25 years old. We've had 6 failures, and the longest failure we've had is sort of 6 working days without any heating or water. And I took it upon myself to get some quotes in to replace the boiler, as when the last repair we had, the engineer who came said basically if it failed at any time, catastrophic, and if we got the bits, we probably it would be touch and go whether we got anything. So we've got 3 people in the quote. We've got the British Gas, Boilers Direct, and Boreham's. The cheapest quote and what we consider to be the actually best technical report came from Boilers Direct. It's £4,006, including that, the preferred one, and it will take 2 to 3 days to be installed. We've actually had a problem this evening, am I right, Maureen, in terms of the temperature in here, because the temperature was set at 14 degrees and it is currently 28. So the system isn't working particularly well at the moment.
That's David, that's just for the boiler or to solve all this thermostat out?
All the thermostats, all the thermostats, all of the valves on the radiators, for a dual system, and to actually relocate the boiler. The boiler, just in summary, currently is obviously in the kitchen. It can't stay in the kitchen because of the flume. Is now illegal to put a flume out in that up through the chimney. The options we've got is it either goes on the outside wall at the front. That is a question mark because you're then be exhausting into a pathway, so their preferred location is to locate it in the safe room, with the exhaust going out into the back.
That includes all the associated...
All the associated pipework, any additional pipework that's needed.
Because you're going to put huge rubbish lamps to shame tonight.
Councillor Mead.
Have you had it at this moment in time, or as yesterday when you were here, have we had anything at all from Bowden's?
Nothing yet from Bowden's, no. On their visit, they indicated that it would be somewhere in the region of £5,000, but that was just an indication, and it's depending upon which boiler we choose, so we've got an option.
Councillor Shackleton.
Thank you, Chair. Obviously we do have money in the property budget to cover this cost. If the boiler's shot, we've no option to replace it. Other than it also being a safety issue.
Exactly. Okay. So, can we... Is everybody in favour of giving permission to get this done?
Yeah.
Right, we'll have a vote on it. Can we have a proposal, please? Councillor Wright, seconded by Councillor Holden Barnes. All those in favour, this is done. Councillor Mead?
Which boiler are we going on?
The one that's highlighted yellow, that's...
The one that's highlighted
We're going on the
yellow.
recommendation.
Yes.
Could I also say that we have looked into the recommendation, we've gone to a previous client of Boilers Direct who have given them a glowing report in terms of their installation methods, how they left the site, and their after-sales service has been very, very good.
Okay.
You've never worked on a building like this.
No,
As we well know.
So all those in favour, please. Right, sorry David. Very good. Windsor's coming. Okay then, we'll move on to 16. Council plan. As part of the discussion regarding the community plan in conjunction with the Quality Council Awards, it was resolved that the council would move forward with an updated council plan. To allow this to happen, the resolution as stated in the special meeting of 8th of August 2016, i.e. that a recommendation be made to full council at a special council meeting to be held on the 8th of August 2016 that the town council submits an expression of interest to the borough council's fall planning team to commence the drawing up of a neighbourhood plan for the parish Strategic Planning July 2016 minute number 594/016 be rescinded if required, which we need to rescind that minute before we can actually move on to plan. It's over 6 months, so we can do that. Okay? So what we're asking is for us to vote on this to be rescinded, this minute to be rescinded, so we can move forward on the town plan. All those in, can I have a proposal for that, please? Councillor Wright. Seconder, please. I'll do that. Councillor Wilkie. All those in favour of that, please? Okay. So we can now move on that one at our next strategic planning meeting. Number 17, planning. The council to consider the 2 planning applications detailed below. I hope you have had a chance to review these applications, and do you have any comments